a thing in high school right now is a soft launch of a relationship.
So who's supposed to care about this? Is it like, is it the friends?
I was like, what? We're back. We are back. It is Daddy God Season 2, Episode 1. If you don't know me, my name is Sawyer, high school ministry pastor at Crossroads.
My name's Adelyn. I'm the high school ministry coordinator at Crossroads.
She's my subordinate, we call her.
And I'm John Allen. Great to see you guys.
Any personal updates, John? What's going on with you, man?
Nothing much.
How's Tim Tam?
Tim Tam's asleep.
Still?
Still.
He's not awake yet?
I don't even know where he is. We put him in a box and he's in a closet.
This is, if you don't know Tim Tam,
We need context.
This is John's little brother.
An animal.
He's,
Reptile.
Tortoise. And he hibernates.
He hibernates and he has some family members that chill at other homes. So there's like a colony of them that are, all over Corona.
I wonder if he misses them.
Well, he's with them right now.
Oh.
So that's what we do. So for hibernation, we put Tim Tam in a box with his siblings.
Dude, that's sick.
And they get shelved up somewhere.
Imagine like
Family reunion,
but you just like go to sleep.
That'd be amazing.
It's kind of weird, but it's like, hey, sleepover.
Yes.
You like build a fort
for 6 months.
For 6 months.
I don't even know where he is. He's at someone's house. I mean, and that's confusing too. Will we even get the right tortoise back?
Did y'all mark him? You had to have
we know who he is because they're in separate boxes.
Dude.
Yeah.
They're not even in the same box?
I don't know.
What's the point of having a tortoise reunion if you're not even going to be in the same box?
I think they're stacked on each other in like a cool temperature room. So
this is so fascinating.
I'm learning new stuff.
And keep in mind, we don't even know the gender of Tim Tam yet.
Oh, bro. This is why we do this. This is why Daddy God is here to learn about tortoises.
Yeah.
I'm blown away.
Because this is like my dad's treasured possession. He loves Tim Tam. He feeds him. He makes him salads. It's a whole thing.
Which is hilarious because if you know your dad, he's a very manly man.
Stern, stoic.
Very.
Incredible.
Like a Viking.
Yeah.
And he's just taking care of a tortoise.
A retired law enforcement, retired Marine, the whole thing. And so he's awesome, but he just has a connection with Tim Tam. But yeah, we don't know Tim Tam's age because it's unknown for a certain amount of time. And then like their shell does something. My dad actually took Tim Tam to a tortoise convention to talk to experts to get like a gauge on what they think his gender is.
I want to know what this convention was called, when it was, where it was, because I'm going next year. I'm getting a ticket. And were there people in like cosplay, like as tortoises?
I have
Franklin.
No idea.
It's like what? Yeah.
Franklin.
They go as Franklin the turtle.
Yeah.
Yes. And some people
Wonder Pets.
Exactly. I have no idea what the vibe was, but some people were saying it's a girl, and some people were saying it's a boy. So that's why it's Tim Tam, because it could be Tim or Tammy.
Oh, really? That's why.
Kind of, yeah.
Now, when they find out, are they gonna rename him or her? So if it's a girl, are they gonna say no longer is it Tim Tam, it's Tammy? Or are they sticking with Tim Tam?
If it's a girl, birth certificate will still say Tim Tam, but street name
Tammy.
Tammy. Tammy.
If you don't know her as Tammy, you don't know her.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. Like Adelyn is now going by Adelyn. But she'll always be Addie to me. And it no offense, but that's just who, and it's like,
stuck in your
if
head
you didn't know her as Addie, do you really even know her?
You don't know her.
You don't know her.
Because if someone walked in and said Adelyn, like, whoa.
Like, that's polite because she wants that. And I guess I'm being rude for not going with it. I've tried. I've even done better. We sang happy birthday last week or 2 weeks ago, whenever it was. And I said Adelyn and happy birthday.
I appreciate that.
You're still Addie. So
what does Damien call you?
Don't we? Yeah.
I mean, I feel like most parents would be like, oh, when my kid's in trouble, I use their full name. But I feel like he just says Adelyn because he knows that's what I want.
What's Addie in Spanish? Because I feel like he would like tap into that, right? Isn't he like, that's his lane?
Does he call you something else when he's like mad? Is he like Adelyn Beltran?
No, nothing crazy. How do you feel about being called by your first and last name all the time?
John Allen.
I feel fine about it because people have been doing that for so long. And so many people think that's one name forever.
Oh, really?
Since I was young. Yeah. It's been like Mary Grace or Mary Beth, John Allen, since I was in junior high, you know, and it's just stuck. So
does anyone call you just John?
No. No one calls me John. A lot of my family members call me Johnny from growing up. Yeah. My dad calls me Johnny.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, Johnny, I love you. Where's Tim Tam?
Interesting. Where's Tim Tam? That's the only. I love you, Dad.
I love you, Dad.
Addie, how about you? What's going on with you? What's Adelyn? Sorry. What's up with you?
Doing great.
Your birthday last week?
I just turned 23.
Wow.
Which is cool. I still get told I look like I'm 16, 15, you know. Last week I was on like a tour at Warner Brothers Studio, which was cool. And the guy was like, and I'm assuming all of you guys are over 18. And then he points at me. He's like, except for you, you look a little young. And I'm like, I guess it's a blessing to be looking young, I guess. And sounding young.
For too young than too old, I think.
That's true. Yeah.
When you say?
I'd rather be mistaken for too old, like 60 or 70.
Really?
Something like that, yeah.
I feel like as you get older, though, people want to be mistaken as being younger. Like, I feel like that's more of a compliment. But
as long as it's a looks basis, not like a maturity basis.
Sure.
Like,
yeah.
I feel like that's usually.
I feel like if anything, your even aesthetic is like old.
Yeah, grandma house for sure. But
exactly.
Yeah, that's cool. I had a Disney Channel themed birthday.
That was sick.
And Disney actually commented on my TikTok.
The real Disney.
The real one.
Wow.
13 million follower Disney. Whoa. And they said, this party theme is incredible.
Right.
So I felt very honored by that.
Go check it out. Go check out her TikTok. What's your TikTok?
I think it's Adelyn BLT, which is Belgian.
Bacon, lettuce, and tomatoes.
Yeah. It's a joke, obviously.
Adelyn BLT. And she had a party. I was there. I was Ron Stoppable. My wife was Kim Possible. Yeah. And
it's fun.
It was fun. It was a cool party. Shout out to the people who came dressed as the whole cast from Holes.
Oh yeah. Some of my friends.
Awesome. You know the movie Holes? Shia LaBeouf?
Seen it a bunch.
It's a great movie. It's actually great. Slept on movie.
Yeah.
And the whole cast came.
Dedicated.
It was great. And if you know Adelyn, she goes all out for her decorations and parties. She'll host someone for dinner and it'll be just like, come over, have dinner. And it's decorated to like a 1980s tea party from London. It's like
so random.
It is.
Yes.
You know,
I love having dinner parties. It's fun. It's like a hobby.
See, it's like,
my whole
awesome.
closet is like
fun of it. It's actually genuinely really cool. I kind of wish I had that passion. I don't know what the word is, commitment, because I love having people over, but I've never just been like, I'm going to decorate with a theme for having someone over for tacos, you know?
Oh, yeah.
But you will do that.
Because you had Galentine's.
Yeah. And I just bought a bunch of like lighting. So it was like red and pink in there just for fun. So
very cool.
Does anyone ever like respond to a story on Instagram? Like, why wasn't I invited to Galentine's, or like, what's up with that, or no?
I've never had that, thankfully. I feel like that would be kind of awkward because I have an apartment and I can't fit that many people in there. So that would be a little awkward, but
jealousy's out there though.
Sure.
Comment down below if you want to get invited to Addie's next themed party.
We'll have a private party at her apartment just for her gals, but then we'll have a huge one in this studio. Whoever responds to this, and we'll have a massive Galentine's party next February.
That'd be fun.
Amazing.
We'll do it.
Let's do it. You, Ryan, we went and visited Catalina Island the other
just
day.
A couple days ago.
Just a couple days ago to visit where we're going to summer camp. And
shameless promo.
Go to summer camp 2024. It's going to be amazing. Honestly, it's really, really cool. The camp is so cool. But we're in Newport waiting for the ferry to pick us up. By the way, I've never been to Catalina Island either. So I was like a little kid on a field trip. I was like, this is awesome. But we're talking. We found out right before we get on this boat that Urian's never been on a boat before. A boat, never been on. And I was like, kayak? No. Paddle boat, sailboat? Nothing. Never been on a boat. And that day you rode not on just one boat, 4 different boat rides that day.
Yeah.
3 different boats, 4 different boat rides. We had the ferry there, which is a massive, like 3-decker. It's really cool. Then we get there, we pull in, and the camp tells us that they're going to pick us up on a boat because there's no roads going to the camp. You can only access this camp by boat. And they're like, we'll pick you up at dock 3. And we're pulling up, and Addie's like, I don't see anything. And I see this little tiny boat. I'm like, I bet that's him. And Addie's like, you can't even fit on that boat. Made a fat joke, really mean. But she did. Urian heard it. And I was like, I bet that's it. Sure enough, it was it. And it was 4 of us on this tiny boat. And that was pretty fun. Ryan sat like by himself at the very front
holding
of the boat.
his camera gear.
It was literally like a tiny little seat, and he's by himself in front of the driver, like holding his stuff. Then we rode a little bit of a bigger boat on the way back. It was still like a smaller boat.
But it was fast.
But it's fast.
Yeah.
Then you rode again. So Ryan, behind the camera, how was your first boat ride experience? How was it? You survived.
I think that was absolutely amazing. Okay.
Cool.
I feel like overall, like I would give it like I would say 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10.
Yeah.
Which
No
was your favorite boat
seasickness?
to ride on?
Probably, it's funny enough. It's probably the smallest one.
The smallest one was fun.
Because
That's cool.
because especially with the comedic timing of like you calling out that guy Nathan is like are you Nathan? He's like, I am. I was like, yes.
I yelled at him from the other dock. He's
Yeah.
like, I am. Yeah. Dude, it was awesome. And it really
I was
was. I
sick.
can't explain it. There's like a little bench, like smaller than this couch,
Mhm.
that me and this dude driving the boat and Addie sat on. So it was like us 3. And then it was like this, the steering wheel of the boat was here. And then one little seat right here. And that's where Ryan was.
He got the best view in the house
He's
for
literally
sure.
like,
Amazing.
he's literally riding on this boat like this, like bouncing up and down on the, it was awesome. It was so cool. But yeah, come to camp.
Come on now.
That's amazing. We are in season 2 officially of Daddy God Podcast. We got a lot of stuff coming up. The goal of this season, we're going to do some funny stuff. We might even do a little bit of serious stuff. Might even talk about some spiritual stuff, but keep it lighthearted. We're not going to go crazy. But we are planning to hopefully get some guests on here.
Woo.
I want to have some students on here.
Mhm.
I don't know how y'all feel about that. Y'all good with that?
Would love
So
that.
hopefully episode 2, we get a student on here. I want to know what y'all think we should ask them. What kind of questions do we want to know from our students? Because I feel like we got to pick their brains a little bit, because we talked about our experiences. I feel like we should put them in the hot seat and be like, all right, tell us like what you love about HSM and what you hate about HSM,
Yeah.
and see who's real.
The truth comes out.
Because if
Come on.
someone's like, no, it's perfect, they're
Mhm.
lying.
Nothing's perfect. No one's perfect.
Nothing's perfect. No one's perfect.
Mhm.
So will they be honest with us?
Yeah. I would love to hear from them about like, what are your like top songs, top movies, top
Ooh.
interests, just to like pick their brain, because I feel like we're not even that much older than them, but sometimes I just feel so much farther behind.
For sure.
Like they're like just so current. Like I want to know, why do all of your Instagrams have no profile pictures, no posts, and no tagged?
That's
like
a thing.
I just want to know. I'm just curious.
I recently heard, we just did a relationship series, and a thing in high school right now is a soft launch of a relationship.
Yeah.
You were helping me understand this. Have you heard of this, John?
No.
A soft
You haven't.
launch.
Mm-mm.
No.
Do you know what this is, Ryan?
I've never heard of this in
So
my
a
life.
soft launch,
Mhm.
right? Addie, you explain, is what?
It's when you don't want to announce, like, it's mainly girls that do this. They don't want to announce who their boyfriend is. So they put subtle clues. So, like, their whole idea is I'm going to post 2 cups of coffee on the table. And you just have to guess, like, oh, wow, she's with someone. Or I'm going to put, like, a picture up of us holding hands, but you're not going to know whose hand I'm holding. I'm going to go to the movies.
Soft launch.
I'm going to put 2 tickets, but you don't know who the
so
other
people
ticket
now
is.
know your relationship. They don't know who it is.
So who's supposed to care about this? Is it like is it the friends?
I was like, what?
That's
Do people
the thing.
read into it this much?
Especially if you go to school with them, you probably already know who this is. It's
Right.
just like an
Who's this
Instagram
for?
thing. And I don't really understand why they do it, but they do it. And then it's slow. Like, and then on Valentine's Day, I feel like you guys have probably seen this. You're on Instagram and you're like, had no idea this person had a
Right.
boyfriend, had no idea this person had a girlfriend. Like it just comes out of nowhere, but they had been soft launching it the whole time.
That's cool, I guess.
Kind of like a game, I guess.
Life's a game, so
Life, it is.
that makes sense.
It
But
is
it's just
literally a
fascinating.
board game, but they also say that life is a game.
Life's a game. You just never know what's gonna happen.
So John, how do you feel about soft launches in general, relationships, or just with other stuff?
I don't really get the relationship thing, but you know, I get it. You're in love and you're having fun. No hate, all good. I love soft launches for cinema. You know, I love when a movie drops a few photos on set before the teaser, before the trailer.
Before they throw out any sort of trailer. It's just like, hey, here's the new, here's a picture from the scene or from the set or whatever.
Oh yeah, like here's the actor in their costume. Like even when Dune 2 was getting pushed,
Yes.
it was like, oh, Timothy is back on set.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Josh Brolin.
Just
Even
the hype around it.
the hype. Even I remember when Star Wars: The Force Awakens came out, they dropped a photo of the old actors with their scripts.
Yeah.
So Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford. It was like, whoa, but no teaser. That's a cool soft launch.
For sure. Soft launch for like a restaurant where it's like grand openings next week. And we're just going to open the doors 3 days early. Just if someone walks in, they walk in and we just see how they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Soft launch for a relationship. Not sure about it.
I don't know.
Interesting.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying I don't get it. So maybe I'm just old, which I feel old.
Yeah, we're old.
I'm talking tomorrow in my message about how my favorite video game is NCAA football 2012.
Oh man.
That video game was made in 2011.
Which is when the freshmen were born.
Freshmen. We're born in 2011. I remember
crazy.
getting this video game on Christmas when I was in high school. And now my freshmen that are coming in, are they the 8th graders that are about to come in? I think they're 8th graders about to come in. We're born in that year. So we're old. At least I am.
It's all good, man.
Oh, well. So I say we ask them about some of that stuff. That's good. John,
fun.
any questions you want to ask some high school students?
I just want to find out what God is showing them, how he's leading them, in their season of life, and just their hopes and their dreams in the Lord.
That's great.
That'd be great.
It's great. Stay tuned. Stay tuned
Look
for
out.
students on here. I do, whenever I talk to high school students, we have awesome students that we love and we love to talk to. Then we also have students that I love to talk to and love to pour into. In fact, there's some of my favorite students but they're difficult. Like they just don't like church or they don't receive leadership or whatever. And those are some of the stories that you hear that are really rewarding. Like I'm so fueled by our students that are like awesome. But you also, if you get a student that's really difficult and you just love them and invest in them and pour into them, sometimes it doesn't lead to anything, but sometimes they will like 180 turn. And that's so awesome. But as I'm talking and loving on and dealing with these difficult students, do y'all ever like feel bad for how you were as a student? Or is that just me? Like sometimes I'll be talking to these difficult students and I'm like, you drive me crazy, but I was you. Like I was a difficult student.
How are you a difficult student?
I was a difficult student in the sense that I loved the Lord and I was actually really respectful to leadership. So it's also my best friend was the senior pastor's son and he didn't want to be a part of like everybody and everybody treated him. So he and I would go and we would just sit in the very side or in the very back and like not participate. If there's a game, wouldn't participate. If there was like it was just like, we were just kind of like, we should have been awesome. We should have been leaders. We should have been like, and we were just like, nah, we're going to show up late. We're going to sit in the corner. We're going to leave early. And I just feel like we were just frustrating to people, You ever had that? Do you ever think about that? Like things that you do or things that we deal with now that frustrate us that we did in high school or junior high? Do y'all have any of those things or were y'all just awesome?
I don't think we were awesome. I doubt that like Addie was problematic. You were kind of like low key under the radar.
I was like super shy. I don't think I wanted to like cause any problems, but
you also you did the skits and stuff.
Yeah.
Y'all did skits.
I feel like I was like the opposite of that where it was like too much.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, this girl wants to be a part of literally everything.
Really? Oh, you were the person that was like,
like, please put me in.
This is my chance.
Put me in everything. Like, let me help you with.
You've also filmed like 1 million music videos for Taylor Swift, and that was right in that season, right? So you were that person.
Yeah, just too much sometimes, but I don't know.
Okay, so maybe just me.
Yeah, I was pretty chill, bro. I just laid low, to be honest. Just cruised, drank coffee.
I just feel like there's things that like aren't bad that I did that now frustrate me. That I'm like, I get it. I get why my teachers like had a hard time with me because my teachers love me. But like even like falling asleep in class, to me as a high schooler, I was like, why do you care? Like I'm passing my classes now. Now I see it's like, oh, because the teachers actually liked their job and liked me and wanted to pour into me, and I'm just being a jerk,
Yeah, I think that's the hardest thing when someone isn't respecting what you're passionate about.
Or they're scrolling on your phone. Like I didn't even have Instagram in high school, but I remember like being on my phone and goofing off.
Oh yeah,
and be like, I'm still listening. Why do you care? Now I'm like, it's really discouraging when I look out and I pour my heart and soul into this message. We did message prep and we made life group questions and we made slides and they're just on their phone. And I'm like, I get it.
For sure.
Yeah.
100%.
So maybe we can ask them like their perspective on it. I don't know. We'll think about it.
It'll be great.
I want to do a new segment today where we talk about controversies and we determine now we're not church counselors, but if we think it's okay or not okay, just to be a little controversial and talk about some of these topics.
Oh, I'm so pumped.
First one is a good one. There was around Super Bowl weekend. There's a lot of stuff that came out on Super Bowl weekend. There's people swinging from the roofs and doing music videos. There was a church that kicked a field goal with a Bible. They put a Bible, they teed it up, they kicked the Bible through a field goal post. Funny enough, that church was called Crossroads Church, which is our church, but it was in a different state. And we got a lot of hate for it. People commented on it and we're like, that wasn't us. In your opinion, but again, if this is your church, we don't go to your church, so don't listen to us if you don't want to listen to us. It's fine. Okay or not okay to kick a Bible through a field goal post? What do y'all think?
This is a hot take.
Hot take.
I think that the hearts behind this idea, beautiful.
Yep.
I don't think anyone is working in a church trying to be malicious, trying to be mean or disrespectful. I think sometimes churches want to be relevant and make a statement so that people will come or that their church can get attention. But even that desire for attention, for the most part, is always to point back to the Lord, always. So I think it is controversial because you're kicking a holy book.
Yeah, for sure.
But I don't think there's anything like horrible with the people behind it. We've had bad ideas in our ministry days that had no malicious intent, but just were taken the wrong way. And so you can't control what people are going to say.
Yeah.
I think there's better things to do than kick a Bible through a goal.
Yeah.
Goalpost?
Goalpost, yeah.
Okay. But I bet they're amazing people. Incredible.
Addie, what do you think? Agree or disagree?
I'm going to go partial agree.
Okay.
I agree with what you said. There's probably no malicious intent behind it, but I think a first timer is the lens sometimes you really have to think through. Is like, there's someone sitting in here and I'm telling them that the Bible is the holy word of God, a double-edged sword, and then I just kicked it. It's like, okay, what are you trying to do here? So I would say not okay because, it's a holy book. But I do agree that there was probably not this like, let's show them that like we're better than the word of God and we can get, like that was not the goal behind it, but it just can get twisted so bad.
I didn't see the whole service. I just saw the clip. It's pretty wild. I also don't know if it was actually a Bible. It's meant to look like a Bible. It says Bible on it, but she kicked it far. I'm like, I don't know that you can kick a Bible that far. Yeah. I don't know. I'm saying like they probably had a great idea. I'm all about creativity. We did a creative thing on that day where we got some hate for it. We did like it was called Draft Day, where we encourage people to join a team and serve. And we do it like it's like the NFL draft, where like these team, like all of our ministries were outside of our church, and after service, all these people go and like see the booths. So we had like a table where it's we're showing our ministry, and it's basically like, hey, we're looking for our next pick. This is the Crossroads draft, and we did like an ESPN booth, and it was fun. We got some hate for it, And so we're all about being creative. So I get the idea of like, what can we do that's creative today? I don't know that kicking the Bible is the best idea, but so I'm probably anti-kicking Bibles, but let's not be so quick to say that this church was evil,
And that's what was so interesting about what we did here at Crossroads. The room was laughing.
Yeah.
We're a family. Everyone knows who's being talked about. All
and it was
love.
Very obviously, like it wasn't a part of our service in the sense of like, this is Jesus. It was very much like this
satire.
Is satire.
Yeah. Before the message, and everyone knows you guys. Like, we're all friends. We all love the Lord. So.
Yeah. So kicking Bibles, no.
Creativity,
yes. Yeah. Bashing the people who did it, probably not. Let's not do that either.
Don't bash.
Don't bash people. Yeah.
Especially the hate comments we got.
On
our stuff.
Yeah.
Because the lady
hate on someone, hate the right person. Don't even hate on
the lady who kicked it looked similar to Pastor Lauren. And we had posted a video on TikTok of Lauren's sermon clip, and we are Crossroads Church, and it said, "Why did you kick the Bible?" It's like, you don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
It's such a bummer. I'm like, poor Lauren. She's just preaching a great message.
How many Crossroads there are out there that are also getting hate comments?
So many.
Our logo's kind of similar to theirs too.
Is it?
Yeah.
I haven't. You've looked into this then?
Yeah, I have. I was super intrigued.
I just heard about it in the staff meeting. They were like, yeah, so if we get a hate comment, like let's just ignore it or whatever. I actually don't know the process, but I was like, that's funny. That's funny to me. Okay, so we're all in this there. How do you feel about what we did that day? Y'all good with what we did or down?
Loved it.
Sweet. Okay, this one's really controversial.
Uh-oh.
The Super Bowl ad, the Jesus Gets Us Super Bowl ad, where he washed the feet. If you haven't seen the Super Bowl ad, there's commercial that was just I think the phrase was Jesus gets us, or he gets us, and it was basically an image of one person washing the feet of another person, just like Jesus washed the feet of his disciples. So it was like, I think there was one of like a priest washing the feet of someone who's in the LGBTQ plus community. There was like I think there was a pro-life protester washing the feet of an abortion nurse. There's like all that stuff. It got a ton of hate, apparently.
They got a ton of hate last year too.
Did they? What was last year's Super Bowl commercial?
Just the same vibe, but not with feet washing. But I just remember it being a big deal.
I don't remember last one. How do we feel? The hate was what? It was like Jesus did. It was Jesus, which Jesus didn't wash everybody's feet. He washed his disciples' feet. But I think the hate was like he didn't wash the feet of sinners. He washed the feet of disciples, which he actually did wash Judas's feet. Yeah. So I don't like that argument. But what do y'all think about that?
I thought it was a really cool ad in general because, you think of all the things being promoted, they're all very like consumer, like materialistic. So the fact that we just got to see like Christ being portrayed on the Super Bowl where like so many people are watching is so cool. And like, Jesus was the Son of Man, so he does get us in that way. So I thought it was really cool. And when I remember seeing the hate stuff, I was like, what? Like, I feel like Christians get too nitpicky on certain things where it's like, oh man, just like, let it be, like just let it give a good message to, you never know who's going to see it. God could use anything. So I thought it was cool.
You agree, John?
Yeah, it was only 20 to 30 seconds too. So it's so hard to know someone in 30 seconds or know what they're really trying to say. Obviously, like you had mentioned, there's a lot of approaches to what feet washing means in context. But I feel like the commercial was basically saying, hey, we need to love each other more. Yeah. That was like the gist of it.
Yeah.
So
that's cool. That's a good message.
I think they even threw the phrase up there like Jesus didn't teach hate. And that's correct. Yeah. I think the problem that people had was like, this isn't the whole message. You're right. Do you know how much a Super Bowl ad costs? It was like 50 million or something like that.
And there was also controversy about that. However much the ad cost, they were like, why didn't they use the money on something else?
I get that. But at the same time, you're reaching so many people. And I thought it was a good message. You can't put the whole Bible in a 10-second clip, and I think we're missing the point. I think people are missing the point. I thought that was cool. And I do think one of my pet peeves is how hateful Christians are. Like we've talked about this, how I think it's a good thing for Christians to care about politics, we have the freedom to vote. I think we should do that, to pray for who to vote for and who to support. If a president becomes president and he's not the person you voted for, to still respect that authority is biblical. And yet so many Christians are so hateful towards presidents. And that bugs me, and I like that commercial was like about serving the person that you disagree with. It doesn't mean you have to get along with them, like serve them, love them, be kind to them, be courteous. So I think let's calm down, people. Let's calm down.
Yeah, I think too, so many people will come to us or to me and, they'll be complaining about someone or just trashing someone, like, because they're frustrated and, their emotions could be valid in a way. But I'm like, okay, have you prayed for them at all? Because the Lord tells us to pray for our enemies. Pray, bless those who persecute you, who come against you. And I think we're just so quick to be like, you know what? Forget praying. I just want to vent to another Christian I know. So I just think we got to be on our knees so much more than we're talking, so much more than we're running our mouth. Just be talking to God about people, because the Lord can change anyone in a moment. But I think we fail to see miracles happen due to an apathetic approach to praying. We're just like, I'd rather not pray about it. I just want to talk about it. But it's like, I think more would happen if we prayed and asked God to help people that we're struggling with to change their hearts, and
I could tell you how many conversations I've had with people where their hate for the Lord really spurs from their hurt from people who love the Lord. Like, it's like, I'm this way because I know that Christians are so hateful. And the moment they meet a loving Christian, it's like it really is a game changer. It doesn't happen every single time. You know, there are people out there that doesn't matter how kind you are to them, they're gonna hate. But I wonder if people who love the Lord served others the way that Jesus called us to serve, it would make such an impact. Something to think through. Food for thought.
That'll preach.
Prayer is good to pray for those people. How about this one? This one's kind of funny. It's close to home. How do we feel about the Life Surge event? Y'all remember the Life Surge event? We had an event that our church hosted. It wasn't our church putting it on, but they rented out our church facilities. And it was like this whole event. I think it was financial. Like Tim Tebow was here. Like some awesome speakers were here. Apparently it was an awesome event, sold out. The controversy is this though, how they advertised it. They advertised it as one, it was in Riverside, California. We're in Corona, California, which doesn't have the best reputation. Two, they advertised it as like a beach thing. Like there's ocean and sand and palm trees. And here's my question. Is that okay to do? Mm-hmm. How do we feel?
That's funny because I don't feel like Riverside's that much better than Corona.
No,
if anything, it's worse.
I agree. I agree. I just think it's funny that they specifically said Riverside. And the biggest thing though was the beach stuff. What poor soul from Arizona, from like Tucson, Arizona, was like, I'm going to California to the beach and to be this conference to hear Tim Tebow speak and all these people speak. And they get here and Corona is just as much the desert as Tucson, Arizona.
And who's to say, who's the marketing team, who's the creative team behind this? But also, you can get to the beach from here in about 24 minutes.
24? That's quick.
With my wife driving.
I was going to say, okay.
Yes.
Crystal's driving and you're getting there quick. Yeah, but like 30 minutes, 45 maybe.
So maybe they just like made a wild assumption. Kind of like, I'm going to New York, therefore Empire State Building. Yeah. But I'm like, what if we're in New York State?
Yeah.
Who knows, man?
Yeah.
I don't know. Funny.
I would say for the advertising part, not okay, because I feel like never false advertise them. Yeah. Especially if people are coming from farther away and they're like planning a vacation around it and they're like, we're already staying down at the beach because the conference is at the beach. I had an ad on my Instagram, like when you're clicking through stories, like every day for this thing. Yeah. And it was always the beach. Like it was like specifically like a Huntington, like Newport area. And it was like a drone shot and it said Riverside.
That's what I'm saying. So it wasn't just that it was like the background of the poster was the beach. They showed clips of the beach.
Yeah.
Calling it Riverside.
There's
just so much wrong with this.
Make sense. It doesn't make sense. And
it's not fair.
Right. Like it is like it's California. And when you think of California, a lot of people think of the beach. So if you had asked me from Birmingham, Alabama to plan an event and to advertise something in California, I would have gone beach themed too. So maybe they just weren't here, but I just think it's funny because we are not at the beach. We're a little inland.
And Tim Tebow looks like a beach cat.
Oh,
he might probably throwing a frisbee.
Yep.
Or what? He's football.
Beach cat. Yeah.
Throwing a football
guy. Baseball too. Whatever. Yeah.
He's a baseball too. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Dang.
I'm okay with it. I just think it's kind of funny. A little misleading.
It's not like a sin, but I would just say
apparently the event was awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't get to be part of it, but
I heard a lot of good things too.
So
but
if you went to Life Surge and you loved it, put in the chat. And did it bug you that it wasn't at the beach?
Maybe
I think it would have been different if it had been like, listen to our speakers on the beach. Like if it had been like this beachfront event.
Or even if it was in like Costa Mesa or like somewhere a little closer, but Corona's not the beach.
Yeah, overall,
I mean, we have a little like pond.
And palm trees.
We do have palm trees.
We have palm trees.
We have a pond. It's a fountain, but it can be a pond.
And sometimes
you're
people
talking
are
about
in
the
the
campus.
pond.
What are you talking about?
I was talking about like on Border. There's like that lake over there.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
We got Dos Lagos.
Dos Lagos, yeah.
Dos Lagos, ocean.
Close enough.
Yeah, we do have palm trees. You're right, John. So that could pass.
We could have used that. We have tons of palm trees.
Yeah.
But maybe not like the water and sand. That's a little unfair.
Yeah, it works. It works. All right, guys. Season 2 is underway. Any traditions we want to keep going? Do we want to start any new traditions? We had the shout out counter last season. How do we feel about
Forgot
that?
about that.
Yeah.
We got to do shout outs. Got to keep it going.
I say we keep doing the Damien Ick counter, just trashing Adelyn's husband.
Oh,
because he's a good friend and he can take it.
Yeah, that's in the Dark Knight. That saying, because he can take it. We'll hunt him because he can take it. Watch The Dark Knight.
It's a great movie.
Gosh.
Great movie. You just saw Dune 2.
Oh!
Better than Dark Knight?
Oh,
I mean, it's so different, I know. But like...
I saw Dune 2 last night. It's so fresh. I'm overwhelmed.
I'm seeing it on Friday.
You're seeing it on Friday. It's one of the greatest movies I've ever seen. One of the greatest, if not the greatest theater experience of all time.
Wow.
It's definitely today's Empire Strikes Back. I have high praise for it. I'm going 9.9.
You did. He very critical of movies. You're very harsh on your ratings in a good way.
Yeah, I love
and you
movies.
Said to me, this is one of the best movies ever.
Yeah, it's incredible. It'll go down as something very special in our time. And so it can't be compared to The Dark Knight.
Yeah, because it's so different.
But Christopher Nolan, who directed The Dark Knight, saw it early and he's compared it to The Empire Strikes Back, to what A New Hope is. So very cool.
I love that.
Thank you, God.
I love that. Any other traditions we should get going that y'all can think of? Thought about doing maybe something with you, Ryan, giving us like some words of wisdom at the end of every podcast. Or I feel like he's got that wisdom voice, you know?
We should get sponsored by someone in Corona, like Jersey Mike's, sponsor us, and we'll eat Jersey Mike's on the show.
Ad placement. We just randomly have
ad placement.
I'm down.
Maybe
for
start
that.
with Canvas and work up.
I'm down for food.
Let's do that.
I'm down for that. Maybe Urian comes up with a difficult question to put us on the spot, like a math question or like a spiritual question. Or a riddle. I love riddles. What's always approaching but never here? What's always approaching but it never gets here?
Death?
Nope. Death gets here.
Kind of. I mean, we kind of escape it too.
As Christians, yeah. But
hallelujah.
Come on now.
You ready? Tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow.
Tomorrow is always approaching, but it's never here. Tomorrow will always be tomorrow.
Amen.
That's good.
Maybe we'll do a riddle a day. Urian, that's your job.
Riddle
a day, question a day, word of wisdom a day. Give us something. Down for that?
Hopefully by next episode, we'll have another guest here.
I like that.
Be fun.
I say we all learn a new word and try to use it in the podcast.
And then you have to
and we
guess
don't even tell
what the
each other
word
what
was.
the word is. Like I'm just going to go to the dictionary and learn a new word and I'm just going to sneak it in.
We're going to know what the word is. It's going to be something crazy.
For sure. Like I, the other day was filming something for church and they kept wanting me to say contemplative, but I kept saying contemplative. I feel like
I've only ever heard contemplative.
Right. But now that I've heard it, it sounds really cool. And I keep saying contemplative. Like I said it today in one of our meetings. So this was a very contemplative podcast. Word of the day. Any shout outs? Last shout outs for the episode?
Let's shout out the other Crossroads Church.
Shout out other Crossroads Church. I think they're in Cincinnati or something like that. Shout out.
Why not?
Shout out all the Crossroads churches out there.
Oh, so shout out Cincinnati.
Yeah.
That's the Bengals, right?
Yep.
So shout out Joe Burrow.
Shout out Joe Burrow.
He's coming back next year and it's going to be really special.
That's right.
Or
okay.
this year.
So Joe Burrow, you said other Crossroads. I got to find something in Cincinnati. Shout out the Bearcats. March Madness is coming up. I don't know if they're going to make the tournament, but shout out Cincinnati Bearcats. That's a great mascot. Very unique.
How many college?
Cincinnati. Yep.
Oh.
How many colleges or teams do you know with Bearcat as their mascot? Pretty unique.
Not many.
It's pretty unique.
We're what here? The Warriors?
At Crossroads, we are the Warriors. Crossroads Warriors.
Is that name taken by any NBA team at all? I don't know.
No.
Is that
nothing comes to mind. But Bearcat's pretty unique. I like that. So shout out all Cincinnati stuff. I like that. I've never been to Cincinnati, but all right. That was another episode of Daddy God. I want to break it down. Daddy God 3. 1, 2, 3. Daddy God.